Welcome to the northwest of Spain and one of the most distinctive venues in international show jumping. This is the Casas Novas Equestrian Centre, just outside A Coruña. There is always a very special atmosphere here. The crowd sitting close to the action, enjoying every stride. It can be felt around this arena. There is something for everybody. And as the evening draws in, the anticipation continues to build to one of the feature competitions of the weekend. This is the CSI4 Star Longines Trophy, a contest carrying world ranking points and €56,800 in prize money, and a course set at a demanding height of 1.50 m. 29 in the opening round, looking to get into a winning round with combinations from across Europe and beyond coming forward, all chasing that one place and that top spot come the end. The quality is clear to see. We have everything from proven championship experience, world-class international riders, and some of Spain's strongest home combinations, all ready to test themselves against a course that really does demand scope, accuracy and complete concentration. The track of Javier Tenor. Chape, as he is known, one of Spain's finest course designers, sets a challenge in this opening round that will really test the balance right from the beginning, with that left-handed bend rolling them back from parallel to parallel at 2 to 3, and number 3 just there past the in-gate. A real moment of having to keep that concentration. Then the combination. It comes really early in the course. The upright parallel, needing balance and needing power when you get to that final element. Keeping that eye on the top rail as they come down to the water tray with the parallel above it, making sure they don't focus too low into the bottom of the fence. And then pushing on around the corner. Now, time will be important because obviously it'll set the order for the second round. They need to keep things moving nice and forward. The parallel to the upright, the double 7A, 7B brings them up to this line right in front of a packed grandstand inside the arena at 8 and 9. Then they turn back into what is a amazing final line of 4 fences that starts with the need for power over that triple bar, then a very gradual bend to the upright, absolutely up to the maximum height of 1.50 m, and then into this final line again with the water tray, that sort of Liverpool oxer, and then a big power jump to finish as well at number 13. This is certainly going to be quite some competition. The time allowed is set in the opening round at 72 seconds. This crowd really do understand the sport that they're watching as well. Always getting behind not only the Spanish riders, but everybody that is involved in this. This will be a field that delivers quality alongside their performance. But who can deliver the ultimate round to get into the winning round? The arena is absolutely ready. The grandstands are alive. The pressure begins to rise. And there in the warm-up, the final touch has been put to that preparation as we focus down on this lovely setting. And there is the combination from Spain of Eduardo Alvarez Azanar, one of the great riders of Spanish equestrian sport, and great to see him in this arena. Plenty for the crowd to enjoy in terms of the Spanish competition. Edo, who of course has been an Olympic championship rider for many years, and he rides this 10-year-old mare called Kavita van der Bishop. It's a horse that he's been using at the top level this year, including on the global tour, where he jumped very well out in Shanghai. 10-year-old Belgian warm blood by Vigo Rasui, coming round to the combination. Beautifully done. There's those 2 little water trays. You can see keeping a lovely forward rhythm to this round. It's going to be important. The crowd up close as he comes around the corner. 7 strides down through the double. Oh, it's gone. Just perhaps a little bit too forward. Of course, designer constantly testing that ability to extend and then collect. And that triple bar, you don't get a huge amount of room, but he was struggling a little bit coming off the corner. You could see he was trying to readjust, and I think he ended up just with not enough scope and power left in the jump after he'd rebalanced off the corner. So what a shame in terms of seeing him go through. Obviously, oh, there's Francois Mate Jr. having a chat as well, the Spanish team manager. But in a winning round competition, it is possible to go through with penalties, and if you do somehow go through with penalties, then it all resets to 0 in a winning round competition. So it's just a case of qualifying for round 2, but there are only 10 places. Only the top 10 from the opening round get their chance to come back and compete in that winning round. So once you start to have fences down, certainly if you're going to have 3 fences down, it's not going to be your day. Bad luck there to Eduardo Alvarez-Noir and his beautiful mare, Covita van der Bishop. Well, to Ireland. Next to go, Mark McCauley. For a long time now, Mark, who's been such a major part of the top of the international tree. A rider again with plenty of championship experience behind him from Europeans, World Cup finals. Ooh, and an early fence down here with this 9-year-old. It is a rising star within the team, Rossi van der Heffink. But unfortunately today, Rossi having quite an early fence down by the side Diamant de Semeli out of a Contact van der Heffink mare. Combination jump recently in the Grand Prix in St Gallen, where they put together a solid performance to finish in 7th place. They also jumped on the Nations Cup there together. Be frustrated to have had such an early fence down, because actually jumping a really nice round here ever since that fence fell. Rossi showing why it's a horse that Mark's got so much belief in. It's a stallion with a lot of presence and a lot of jump. Unfortunately, though, he'll end this round on a score of 4, and whether that's fast enough to keep him in the top 10 come the end of this opening round, we'll have to wait and see. But he's there for the moment. He's into the top 6 for the Irish Star. Beautiful looking horse, though. You can see Mark's not sure. He knows that it might not be enough. Well, the attention now turns to another of the sport's great riders, and a man that has twice stood upon the podium at the Olympic Games as individual bronze medalist of both Tokyo and, of course, the Paris Games. But he's also been a part of championship medals as well when it comes to team gold, European and world and Olympic team silver. Michael van der Vleuten has always enjoyed making the trip here to Coruña. This, the Great Beauville ZNOP, the horse that has been perhaps the standout star of his career. Now 16 years of age, this Gelding by Mystique, his Olympic medal winning ride. You can see how much Beauville just loves to jump and how well these two just work together. They know each other inside out, and that is what happens when you have the perfect relationship. Round of applause indeed for what was an absolute starring performance from Beauville and Michael. So safely clear, well up into the top 10 and goes into 4th. If for some reason there were more than 10 clears, and you're the 11th clear, let's say, and you're not fast enough to be in the top 10, then there is the reverse of getting through with penalties. You wouldn't go through, because it is a straight 10 that we take into the next round. Team up on the kiss and cry, watching on, keeping their nerves relatively calm. Michael, I think, yeah, you can see, I think he quite enjoyed that. Beauville certainly did. Lovely round to watch. Well, we zoom in once more. You can see the grandstand down in front of the amazing indoor facilities here, because, of course, Casas Novas, this is the summer edition. Great to see the traditional summer date back. After last year, we were here enjoying the FEI European Championships, when the stars from all over the Europe, the Continental Championship, took place here for the first time. And then the year before that, it was part of the Longines Global Champions Tour, so the more traditional four-star date back now, and certainly something that has seen the crowd respond well to. This is Ima Roqueto Tunel riding Guerivola de Masset, this Spanish star. It's got a lovely breeding program, developing and producing her own horses. This 11-year-old mare by Indret de Messiet, the homebred. She jumped, of course, as part of the Nations Cup final last year. Oh! Oh, no, no, no. That was not the plan. So close to being a clear. And for the moment, with that time, because it was quite steady, it drops her straight away out of the top 10, so she doesn't get the chance to come back in the winning round. Oh, no. That final fence getting in the way. And that's a combination, again, that have been in good form this year, delivering as part of the Nations Cup squads. Could have been hoping as well for championship contention at the Worlds. Well, the attention moves on, but it stays with another of the Spanish stars, because it's the turn of Amanda Tapote riding Captain Hook. 12-year-old gelding by Contagos. Also a rider with plenty of experience. He was part of the European Championship team here last year on Tornado. Of course, he also rode at the World Cup final this year, but he's now had an early fence down. He's going to need to consider the time as well as keeping the fences standing to try and push himself into the 10. Delivered a lovely round with Captain Hook to get into the top 10 here yesterday in the opening world ranking competition. Pressure's on. Can't afford a fence. Needs to make sure the time gets him high enough up the order. 4 it is, though, as a final score. Clear rounds still tough to come by. It's a test that's really got them thinking, and for the moment, as you can see, he's only got into the 10 and only just, so he's absolutely on the bubble. If anybody betters that score, then Amundo will drop out of the winning round. A little shake of the head there from the groom up on the top of the kiss and cry. Don't know that that'll be enough. We're not done yet with this opening round of this Longines Trophy. 56,800 euros worth of prize money. Now with Spain's Pilar Lucera Cordon riding Action Grace PS, the German-bred 11-year-old by Action Breaker out of a Contagos mare. This mare was bred by Paul Schockemöller and Gestadt Lutz, and that is a tough fence to bear. The opening fence going down, making for a long journey around the rest of this course. Pilar, who also has, of course, ridden on championship teams over the years for Spain, from the Olympics in Rio to multiple Worlds and European Championships. But you can can also see, because the only advantage of having the first fence down is she knows where she stands, and she's going to really have to push on and try and squeeze through with a fast four. She has really kept the pace high, and the horse jumping quite brilliantly. Action Grace certainly has the right actions, and had it not been for that first fence, it would have been a very different outcome perhaps. But at the end of it all, at least for the moment, she does indeed squeeze into the 10, and of course in doing so pushes Armando Tomate out. But just hanging on in there with that fast four penalty score. Still might not be enough when there are combinations left to go in the opening round. They're looking to qualify for the winning round. They need to be in the top 10 at the end of this round to do so. Whether you get there with clears or faults, it's a straight cut-off line. It's like a qualifying session for a Grand Prix. You want to get into the top 10 shootout at the end. How you do it doesn't matter, but you've got to be in the top 10 to get through. Great atmosphere today. Everyone having a lot of fun. And there's been a lot going on around this tremendous setting. Hugely popular. It's a massive social event. Draws crowds from all over the region. Now from Spain, Carlos Lopez Fanjual. Riding here with a Chectado PS. Also a 9-year-old. Coming down to the combination, this gelding by Exilio out of a Cantagos mare. Part of the Spanish team in Deauville that finished in 4th in that Nations Cup. He's been having a pretty consistent year. Keeping it pretty steady. Time allowed at 72 seconds for the moment, at least, hasn't caused too many concerns. Oh, he'll be frustrated with that. He just let the horse run on a little bit too much through that distance and almost just tripping over that pole. You just saw that little moment where Conchago there had just that little look down at the water tray. And of course, the moment they do that, the pole goes with it. Again, seeing the rounds getting ever closer to more clear rounds, but you see that it's almost just tripping over it. It didn't trip, obviously, but it's just that just a moment in a lapse of concentration, looking at the wrong part of the fence. Well, the next rides for Brazil. Felipe Ramos Renato riding Garota de Impania MC. Ten-year-old mare by Nagato out of a Skippy mare. Had a great result earlier today with his other horse to finish in the top 5. That was with Gandalf. He's been enjoying this little run of shows up here in the north of Spain over the last few weeks with his team of horses. The Kiaxa Bank was a little bit of a nudge, and oh no, no such luck. You cannot get away with that sort of moment twice. And he actually did everything right at the last. It just sadly, although he managed to avoid the front rail, just came down a little short at the back. He got awfully lucky with the plank, though. 3 from home. You don't often get away with nudging a plank and leaving them standing, but either, you can see, he came so close to it being a clear. And in the end, it's a round that's not going to see him get through, I don't think, to the winning round. Beautiful slow-mo, looking back across to that beautiful indoor setting where they have the winter edition, where the World Cup qualifiers come in December here in Casas Novas. Well, the next to go. Another of the Spanish stars. Olympic rider, championship rider, and a man that's had so much success throughout his career, Sergio Alvarez Moya. It's a lovely horse, actually, called Be Blue. Finished second here yesterday in the big ranking class. It's a partnership that look to be very much on song at the moment. This 9-year-old really coming very quickly up through the ranks. By Brazu, out of a Bockman's Lord Percy mare. A little bit of luck there. They won't have had a huge amount of experience at the top level. But as he's been offering this horse the opportunities to jump in the bigger classes, it's been a ride that's really responded. She's a fabulous mare. Second recently in the Stahl Hendricks Grand Prix in Kessel. You feel this crowd holding their breath, and now they'll release the emotion of understanding that they have a clear there. 71.08 is the final time on the clock, as Sergio Alvarez Moya very much brings himself into play and guarantees himself a spot in that winning round by moving up into 4th place for the moment. Obviously, it'll mean he's later in the draw. The fastest clear in the opening round will go last in that jump-off round, or that winning round. The fastest clear is still Marlon Zanatelli, the Brazilian rider. But that is one the crowd are delighted to see going through. We sent riders from all across the globe, and now it is from Japan to join us. Aikin Sato here with 50-50 Semili. The rider that is part of the lineup in Paris. He's ridden at World Championships this year. Of course, he also rode at his own Olympic Games in 2021. This year as well, qualifying to go to the World Cup final. He was in tremendous form with Campai, his other horse, just last week in Santiago, Miesa, where he took 2nd place in the Grand Prix. But this horse also jumped very well there in the winning round. Same competition on the Saturday, where they finished in 4th place. So you'll have the confidence of the form. And at the moment, you can see that confidence paying off. Really pushing on here. This looks quite a quick round. But is it going to be a clear round? He's rebalanced again, just sitting, waiting, saw the stride, jumped it. There you have it, and that is quick. Second quickest, in fact. 68.71 on the clock is a superb performance from the Japanese rider that's having a tremendous trip to Spain. The QH team have been in brilliant form. I mean, he's had a great year all the way through the World Cup season, coming through into the summer. It's just kept rolling. The horses all looking quite brilliant. But after that 2nd place in the Grand Prix and the top 4 finish in the winning round just 7 days ago, he's put himself in play in the winning round here in Casas Novas. Second place indeed. Still Marlon is the fastest. Well, there's one more for us to see in this opening round before we turn to the winning round. And this is Ivan Sarana-Sereth riding Paco van der Bishop. Another of the Spanish riders who was here as part of the European Championship team with his lovely Rain Man last year. Rain Man is also here at this show, I should point out, because had the win here yesterday in that ranking competition. So started the week strongly. Oh, but he's not going to have the win necessarily here today, because that's not, a 4 now is not going to get you through. I mean, Paco jumped yesterday in the smaller of the classes to finish in 3rd. Well, it's not getting any easier for him. The 11-year-old gelding by H&M Cabrier van der Heffink out of a Plot Blue mare. Final line on 8. Sadly not his day after the big win here yesterday for Ivan Sarana-Sereth. I'm sure his focus will turn to Sunday and to that Grand Prix, but Saturday has not come his way. But it does mean that we now know where we stand going in to the winning round. And what a lineup of combinations that have qualified. It's certainly going to be a very, very entertaining second round of jumping as we just look down from the overhead shot there to Paco van der Bishop and Ivan Sarana-Sereth. Well, the crowd have been kept on the edge of their seat throughout the opening round to see who would get through. And now preparations underway for the winning round. 10 of them qualify. They come back in reverse order. So Marlon will go last. Aiken Sato second to last. Emanuele Guadiano through. 2 of the Italians with Emanuele Bianchi as well. Sergio Alvarez Moya, Michael van der Vleuten, Kevin Gonzalez de Zarat, Piero Abrui, Shatia also going through for Chile. And then as well, the lineup is completed. So those that did pick up penalties in the opening round, as I've mentioned before, will have those penalties removed because it's a qualification for the winning round. And once you're in, you're in. So that's great news for them. It's been a busy day here in this beautiful part of the countryside. So Carlos will go first. And then it's Jainta, then Piero, Kevin, Michael van der Vleuten there with the great Beauville, Sergio Alvarez Moya. The 2 quick Italian riders, the 2 Emanuelis, then Aiken Sato with 50-50. And then, of course, the last to go. The fastest from the opening round, from the opening draw, it is Marlon Modolo Zanatelli. And let's have a little look at where Chape, Javier Trenor, our course designer, is sending them. In my view, it's a very open, quick, running course that's going to benefit the horse that can gallop and jump. There are the turns as well, but they start over what was fence 3, then come to the middle part of what was the combination. That changes the distance and that line down to the water tray at fence number 5. That big, wide, sweeping turn in front of that beautiful VIP, and then the riders stand there behind them as they jump fence 6. Careful as you come to the double. 7A, 7B, and then on and down to fence 8. Then what will be, I'm sure, the absolute key turn, because they roll back round to what was fence number 11. They've got to almost ride past it to come back to it, which is going to make it extra difficult. And then they push on to what is a brand new fence. It's called number 15. It's the Longines fence there to wrap things up. That's the final fence. There's the winning round. You see what I mean about the gallop? You really do need to be able to run and jump. 56,800 euros is the total prize fund. This Longines trophy has certainly given us a fascinating opening round. Now, what has that man set up? The man on the right there is Javier Trenor. He has found the perfect balance yet again as the music rings out around the hills here to say we are ready to get underway. It's a tremendous weekend of sport here, just outside the beautiful port town of Coruña in the north of Spain, a beautiful city that really is a tremendous place to visit if you ever get the opportunity. But the sporting stars are ready now to see who is going to win the winning round. Well, Spain will get this underway. Carlos Lopez Fanjual, Checdado PS, the 9-year-old, getting a good strong start. Oh, not such a strong start. He was a strong start in terms of pace. Problem you have in this sort of competition is you've got to go quick, and you've got to go quick from the beginning. But it opens up the risk. He has a second fence down. It's not getting any easier for him. He'll want to do all he can now to try and keep it on 8 as he rebalances to the plank. Which makes that fence extra difficult, and you've got to be even more careful on that turn back. But one has gone, 9 left. First combination then finishing on a total of 8:43, 3-0. Gives everybody a little bit of an idea. I mean, the riders, the one thing here as well, because the warm-up is literally just almost next door. You can see it in the background there behind the riders' stand. It's very easy for the riders that are still to come to be able to get a very good look at what is going on, and that does help them. Just moving through and over to the right. But of course, he was trying to save himself a little bit of time, but in doing so, ends up with fences falling down. Well, the next to go is Chile's chance, Jacinta Arias. Riding here. As we still look for a clear. This is Capradel, a 14-year-old gelding. Giving herself plenty of room and space. The split time comes up in the middle of the double. But obviously she's going to be slower, but at the moment she's still at least clear. I don't want to speak too soon as she rattles the pole and down it goes. Frustrating. Can she keep it to 4? Well, she does keep it to 4. Better of the 2. So 4 it is as a final score. 47-23, obviously significantly slower than the round we saw from Carlos a moment ago, but just the 1 not down, not the 2 down. Both those combinations, the first 2 combinations to go as well, qualified for the winning round as fast 4s and then had their faults removed once qualified. Barely touched those, but touched them enough. You can see the sea at the top of the picture there. It is a beautiful coastal view from the back of the arena, looking down through the valley. Well, the next to go, Pellevelebui. Now, he qualified for the winning round with a 2-time penalty score. See, the 2's gone now as he's in the winning round. Now needs to concentrate on pushing on. Emir de Burgo, the 12-year-old by an untouchable M. Spain's second chance in the winning round. 4 Spanish riders qualifying to come back. faster at the split, but again, that's compel. He's also had a fence down. It's that front rail this time. Oh, he's just a little bit off balance. And yeah, it's cost him dearly. Struggled on the turn after he'd had the first fence down, and I think that just put them a little bit off and out of sorts coming back round, which is what then caused them to have the second fence down. So we've seen three. They go into third on that score of 8 penalties. Pierre there and Emile de Bourgui. 8 penalties in 45-67. But what we are lacking so far is a 0 score in the winning round. 7 combinations still to come. And it's the top 7 from the opening round that all qualified with clear rounds. Oh, there's a rock and roll atmosphere as the music once again picks up. And they'll be keeping their fingers crossed for Kevin Gonzalez de Zarata Fernandez, de Geral de Lisiette. Again, taking it relatively steady. At the moment, a steady clear puts you on top of the leaderboard, but the problem comes if you then have a fence down. Had some good form across the run of shows up here in the north of Spain. This experienced gelding has just given us the opening clear in the winning round. The Longines trophy is alight now because they are going to have to go quicker and keep the fences standing. Kevin Gonzalez is out there and Geral de Lisiette. First clear of the winning round. 45-7-0. There is no question there is a lot more pace available in this course, but it's got to be delivered with care. It'll be interesting to see now how much faster they can begin to go. There's some big names, as we know, in the draw that have qualified to come through. The camera's focusing now on perhaps one of those, because it's Michael van der Vleuten now with Beauville ZNOP, a horse that knows how to win some of the biggest Grand Prix in the world. And Michael, who is very much still inside the world's top 60 at the moment, is off and running. Here we go. Really confident, pushing on, coming round the back of that big island. 4 seconds quicker. Now we're upping the ante. Brilliant turn as well. That was so tight, met perfectly on the rollback. One more to go. Michael van der Vleuten jumps the last. Oh, what a brilliant round that turned into. 40.25 is the final time. He delivers a clear round and sets this up perfectly for the challengers that are yet to come. Now they're going to have to go some. Can they go faster? Is that a winning round? Time will tell, literally. Beauville is quite some athlete. And that is quite some smile from Michael van der Vleuten. Well, to the final opportunity for Spain and the home crowd to perhaps see a winner today, and they'll know it's in good hands in Sergio Alvarez Moya, and hopefully know that this 9-year-old mare, Be Blue, is a real star for the future as part of Sergio's team. Whether they are ready to star on a day like today with horses like Beauville to try and beat, we will see. But there's no questioning the way that this mare has been rising rapidly, not only up through the heights, but delivering the results alongside them. Certainly means business. Really pushed on at the beginning. And he's faster. Oh, turn, turn, turn. Oh, he's come a little bit wider. Beauville was so good on that turn, and that's the difference when you have a younger horse versus an experienced horse, and it might be costly or it might not. It's going to be awfully tight. Oh, it really was tight as he goes over the line. Great effort. What a star mare that is. Be Blue is a name we will hear plenty of going forward. Sergio Alves Moya delivering a cracking performance with her. He was up at the split halfway there, but that turn back at the end made all the difference. Especially with it being a plank. Sergio knew he couldn't take the same level of risk that Michael did. Michael with a horse that he knows, understands, and has the experience and knowledge to work with him to jump. And Be Blue has the ability, but you've just got to give her a little bit more time. I mean, for the moment, though, slots in behind into second place as we move on. And now to the first of the two Italian riders. This is Emanuele Massimiliano Bianchi, riding Elton Van Het Exelhof Z. Another very experienced horse, this gelding by Elvis Tuput. So important at this stage as well. If you know you can't be the quickest, at least make sure you're clear. He's trying not to waste any time, though. He did work hard on that turn, just opened it up enough, because you're riding past it, not only where you land, you've got to come on a very wide arc to pick out your line. Well, not to be for the first of the Italian challengers. Still 3 more to go in this winning round. They go into third, Emanuele Massimiliano Bianchi. Still leading the way at the moment, though. It's the Dutch star Michael van der Vleuten and Beauville ZNOP. Well, we have another challenge from Italy, then Japan, then Brazil. As ever, a world-class international lineup here for the fans to watch and enjoy. And now, fasten your seatbelts for one of the fastest men in world jumping. Manuele Goriardo, certainly the Italian that has proved time and again how fast he can be against the clock. This is Esteban de Hus. Speed is one thing, though. The clear round is absolutely essential. Either way, if I was Michael, at this stage, I'd be nervous. He's always just felt so comfortable running to the fences, pushing on, leaning forward as soon as he lands, getting that acceleration. Absolutely even Stevens, really, just a 1/10 of a second, but it's the right side of that 1/10 for Manuele. He's also gone on the tight turn, got the jump over the plank. Now it's coming down to the run to the line. 42.5 is the time to beat. Can he get there? Yes, he can. 38.94. Wow. Under 40 seconds around this track is quite some performance. That Manuele Goriano doing everything at his best. Superb, absolutely brilliant horsemanship. What a horse as well. The gelding by Corneta Blensky. Working with him. And together, both of them, as I say, just really running to the fences and having the confidence to jump when they get there. But we're not done yet. Still 2 to go. But there is no doubt about it. The bar has been raised with that round from the Italian. But next to go, it is Japan. And Aikin Sato, last week, second in the Grand Prix and jumped very well in the winning round with 50-50 Semeli, who he rides again in the winning round of the Longines Trophy this week. But the standard has been getting stronger and stronger as this class unfolds. And he's going to need something special with this 11-year-old stallion. He's too far behind in terms of time, but if he can keep the fences standing, how high can he push himself up the order? Picked out his final stride, delivered a time of 42.37. For the moment, with 1 left to go, we'll put him into 4th place overall for the Japanese star. Aikin Sato and 50-50 Semeli, again delivering consistency across 2 brilliant weeks of sport for him and his team. Well, Manuele Goriano is guaranteed a top 2 finish. Michael van der Werten is guaranteed a top 3 finish, but there is 1 more to go, so we don't know quite where within that they're going to actually finish up. Although I think it's going to be a big ask for anybody to try and get past the Italian, but you just would never rule this man out on any given day. Brazil's Marlon Zanatelli rides as the last up here. The Ashford Farms Fasario de Blosiels, the 11-year-old by Organ de Champs. Certainly got off to a solid start. Comes on that tighter line. Met that upright well. Picked out a good stride. Now, he won't be too far off at the split, I wouldn't have thought, looking at this. In fact, he's found 0.2 of a second on Manuele's time. And he's come for the tight turn. This is on. He could do this. Will he? Oh, he's maybe. Oh, he has. Oh, what a performance that was. Angelica, his wife, is over the moon up on the kiss and cry. Oh, what a special moment. Marlon almost disbelieving, and then he realizes that it's come off. Even with that little wobble down the line at the end, he opened up time all the way round that course. And the Longines Trophy sees the best save till last. Quite brilliant from the Brazilian Marlon Zanatelli with Fasario 39.51 to come out on top of this one. Great performance from that 11-year-old gelding. And Marlon steering the ship. And there's Angelica in the middle, and then she's seen it, she's realized, and they've done it. Special moments in this sport, and it's great to see them both here actually competing this week. What a class that was. What a jump off for a winning round that was. Marlon wins ahead of Manuele Goriano. Nip and tuck at the top. Michael van der Werten in 3rd place. Ahead of the best from Spain, Sergio Alvarez-Moya, Aikin Sato. It is a truly international flavour and a great mix. And what a great round that was to come out and take the lion's share of this €56,800 prize fund. Just over 17,000 euros going the way of the winner. Plenty tried, but couldn't quite qualify. But there'll be plenty of pats and I'm sure a carrot or two for the star Farasrio. Let's have a little look at this. So you've got Manuele on the right, you've got Marlon on the left. Nip and tuck at the beginning, the head-to-head. And it isn't anything other than a hair's breadth between them. But Marlon does just have that nose in front at the moment, and there, just that little bit tighter. You can see actually Manuele just had to push a little bit wider, but then there was that little bit of a wobble off to the side. Either way, come the end of the round, it made 0.43 of a difference. It's just the tiniest, tiny moments on turns and lines that make all the difference, but it was so well deserved, and it's great to see him smiling and receiving that beautiful Longines timepiece. What an amazing day it has been for him, and a crowd that is certainly. Let's listen in.
I think the course builder today did an amazing job with this class because it was a delicate level. He got the right number of clear rounds. Even though it was a winning round, all the riders in the jump off, they were clear. And I was lucky enough to go in the end. My horse is naturally a quick horse, but with quite a big step. I could watch Gaudiano and also Michael. They have a bit smaller step, and I knew it would be hard to beat them because the lines really suit their horses, but I tried to make the most out of it. Like 1 to 2, I took it one stride out and tried to create space on the other lines to keep moving with my horse. And he did an amazing job today. He's just an impressive horse. Tomorrow we have the Grand Prix here, and I jumped the same horse again. He had an easy day yesterday and jumped today the big class, and tomorrow the Grand Prix, so let's hope we can do the same again tomorrow. I'm very happy to be here, and thank you all the organization and everybody from Casas Novas to make such an amazing job for us, especially Alvaro for all the work he has to do for us.
What a day, what a class, what a venue, and of course there is a Grand Prix still to come. That though is for Sunday. This crowd have been absolutely treated to some of the world's best sport once again here at the summer edition of Casas Novas. The Longines Trophy has seen the Brazilian Marlon Zanatelli rise to the top of the tree and come out with a brilliant win. Once again, this amazing part of Spain has yet again delivered for us to enjoy some great competition. And of course, Sunday is still ahead of us. Great to have enjoyed it here alongside you. Well done to all. The crowd have certainly been enthralled.